What's up guys, it's me, Mad Samurai 84, here with a late edition of my PS Plus plays for April. Yeah, it's been a bit hard this month, been a bit ill, had a bit of tech problems, and yeah, just been a really tough month to get things done. I've been so slow with my channel. I know no one watches it, but hey ho, let's go. Anyway, we've got 3 games for April. We've got a new month coming in. We know our 3 games for May, but anyway, I'm going to quickly go over the games we got for April, and we'll see what it is. I usually kind of talk while playing the games, but I've just played through the games, and I'm just giving my kind of final thoughts, commentary on each one. And basically, I give a thumb score if I think it's a good game, and a thumb score if I think it's a good offering, and then I'll give like a final verdict, overall score for the month. I'll have timestamps in the description below, and let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, let's jump onto the first game. So our first game for April was Slay the Spire. This came out in the 21st of May 2019, so it's nearly about 3 years old now. I've seen it up on the store, never seen any of the gameplay, so I've never known what it's like. It's like a roguelike deck building game. All I can say is about it is like, if you're into like the kind of like, I've never really done it, but it kind of goes a bit like kind of like Magic the Gathering. You got to get your cards and use it and get through a dungeon to the end and stuff like that. And yeah, you just got to go up the map and get to the end. I played it for a bit. I played it for about an hour. It was all right. You know, it has a nice yet simple graphical presentation. You know, it controls well. There's nothing fiddly in that. It's a nice game, but it's not really my cup of tea. You when you play it, it's probably going to be one of those games. You'll know whether you're into that type of game within the first 10 minutes, and whether you'll carry on playing it. It is quite linear in its gameplay, but what it does pretty well. You just get your cards, you go through it, and you just select the cards of what you can. They're all designed of like how many cards take up how many kind of like points you can use per round, and you just got to select the cards and defeat the enemies on your way up. Really, that's what it is. You can upgrade the cards to be more powerful, this and that, and yeah, it's not bad, but it's nothing really too bad to say about it. But it's just whether it comes down to if this type of game is your jam. It's not my type of game for the time I play it, but it was okay. I wouldn't go further than that. It could probably be a slightly bit boring for most players. They probably want a little bit more. I would say that this game is probably something that probably shouldn't have been part of a PS Plus lineup, really. I don't think it's a good enough title to I don't think it's the type of game you want on there, but it's not bad. It's just not great. It's not for everyone. If you're into that type of thing, then you might have some enjoyment. When you look at its Metacritic score, it sits at an 88, so it's scored very well, and its user score is 7. So it wasn't scored poorly, and I can probably understand that if you're into that type of game, but for me, not really. That's why I'm going to give a game score of 1/4 of a thumb up, because it's alright, just it's definitely not for me. An offering score, I'm going to give it a thumb down, because I don't think it's a good offering. It's not a good PS Plus game to be giving. So anyway, that's that one. We've quickly gone through this one. I'm not spending too long on each game, because I don't want this video to be too long. But it's not bad. It's just not great, and probably really not worth playing unless you're into these roguelike card deck building games. But anyway, let's move on to the next. The second game I'm looking at for April's PS Plus is SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Now this is a remaster that was released in June 2020. The original came out in 2003 on like PS2, Xbox and GameCube. Personally, I've never been a fan of the Square Yellow Man. Not to say I dislike the show, I was just kind of too old for it basically when it started, so I've never played the original, so not too sure what it was like. I think this remake probably took a lot of people by a bit of shock, as no one would have thought this game probably would have been remade. Yeah, it was just a bit odd one, but I have to say it's actually a very solid platformer. It controls well, it has like the whole voice cast, and it's perfectly performed, and it actually looks very nice. Great use of colours, nice and bright. The only issue I have come across it's probably slightly slow loading of like background textures when entering a new scene on cutscenes, and maybe is some little bit of like pop in and pop out of stuff in the background in gameplay, but nothing too bad. It's not really much to say badly. It's definitely much better than I had thought. I think I definitely will play through it for the Platinum Trophy. I don't think it's that long, it's about 13 hours, and it is quite solid, it is quite fun to play. I was playing it for a bit, and I was like, oh, this is actually not that bad. I'm like, I don't care for the franchise, but it's actually not a bad game to play. So it doesn't matter if you're a fan or not, it is a good platformer, you know, not the greatest, but very solid and rather playable. And like nice thing is, like the game was supposedly a commercial success. It sold over 2 million copies, which is quite amazing. But when you look at its Metacritic score, it sits at 68, but its user score is like an 8.9. I can probably see it being like a 7.5, really, because it is very solid. But I'm going to go with for my thumb scores, I'm going to give a game score of a 3/4 thumb up, and I'm going to give an offering score of a 3/4 thumb up, because I think it's pretty good. I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty enjoying it. I'm going to play through it, so yeah. Alright, on to our last game. Now, the last game we have for April's PS Plus is Hood, Outlaws and Legends. It's basically a game where they've kind of taken the whole Robin Hood kind of world, and they've put it into a kind of online type game. You know, there's 3 modes. There's a 4-player PvE mode called State Heist, and there's a 4v4v what would it be, PvPvE? Like, it's basically 4v4, but then you're against the environment, so it's just like the State Heist mode, but then you've got another team of 4 people you're battling against, and that's Outlaw Heist. And then there's like a 4 against all against the environment called Gold Rush, which I never got around to playing because there was no one. I could never matchmake with anyone on that one, so it was quite hard. And that's the 3 modes, and then there's a tutorial mode which you can do with 4 other players, but I don't really see you probably playing that one unless you want to kind of get better at it. But you know, I'm actually quite surprised with this game. I wasn't expecting to. I actually had quite a bit of fun with it. And first of all, I started off with the State Heist mode, and the problem I found with that one, it's very imperative that you work together. But I found it very hard to get anyone to really work with me in tandem to really do it. So basically, in the game, you choose your outlaws. You have a choice. I think it's like 5 or 6 people, and basically you have to steal the key off the sheriff. You have to kind of get in there either without being caught or anything, taking on guards, this and that, collect the key, and then steal the treasure from the vault, and then take it to the end zone to kind of extract the gold for you. But you know, I had a lot of fun in the outlaw heist mode, which is the 4v environment mode, and that is where I think you would probably spend a lot of time. I had so much fun in that mode, and I don't think I would probably play much of the other modes, because I felt like when I was playing it, I was like, yeah, that's the mode, that's the one I'm having a lot of fun with. You know, but the general game, like the level design looks good, like the presentation is very nice. The only bad thing I can say about the graphics is probably like some of the main character models are probably not that nice and probably look quite a bit ugly. You'll see when you kind of go in there, you're like, oh god, that doesn't look that nice. But you know, the game controls like well, and it's actually quite fun to play. It's a game I would have easily passed on if it wasn't for the solid Outlaw heist mode. I'm not really fussed with the other ones, but you know, that mode is definitely something I would probably play a bit. You know, there's only 6 maps, and also like I do feel like some of the characters seem probably way too strong, and maybe there's probably some balancing that needs to be done, but it doesn't really overall like ruin your experience of the game, and you will find out quickly that you'll be using probably 2 or 3 of the characters most of the time, as the others probably seem pretty pointless, especially in the PvP mode. In the PvE, maybe not so much. You'll probably use some other ones, but in Outlaw Heist mode, you'll be using 2 or 3 certain characters more or less all the time. The rest you just won't care for. But overall, it's a half decent game that is fun to play. Given it needs probably free added support with probably some more maps, modes, and maybe some other characters. Oh, and I have to say, getting caught by the sheriff is hilarious. He is a beast. But when you look at his MegaCrit score, he only scored a 68, but the user score is a 5.9. That's probably taking it on its initial release, but for now I would say it's probably a little bit better. So for my game score, I'm going to give it a thumb in the middle, and I'm going to give an offering score of a thumb in the middle. Because I think it's a pretty half decent game, not bad offering. I think it's probably got a lot better since it originally released back in May 2021. So, you know, it's not even a year old when we got this game, so it's not too bad. But anyway, so let's look at a overall for the month of April. So we had Slay the Spire, gave that a game score of 1/4 thumb up, and an offering score of 0 thumb up. SpongeBob SquarePants, game score 3/4, and an offering score 3/4. Then finally, Hood, Outlaw and Legends, game score thumb in the middle, offering score thumb in the middle. So overall, if we're looking at it, I'm going to give an overall game score as a thumb in the middle, because I think overall, you know, the game's alright. Some were better than others, of course, but it's not great, but not absolutely terrible. An offering score, I'm going to go with another thumb in the middle, because it's pretty much the same, really. But I have to say, if it wasn't for SpongeBob SquarePants, it would be a far lower score for the month. The Slay the Spire, I don't think was a great game to be giving us with our PS Plus. You know, SpongeBob and Hood Outlaw, I think pretty half decent games to be giving us. It's just Slay the Spire, I think, really let down the month. It could have been so much better. But anyway, that's it for my quick short video for April's PS Plus plays. Too late, it's in May now, but I'm going to get it out before the new month out, and hopefully I can jump on and do May's a bit quicker, if everything's working better now. But anyway, please like and subscribe to the channel, and until next time guys, take care, see you soon, goodbye.